Hey everyone, it's Pastor Scott here at Community Bible Church. If you look behind me, you'll see a makeshift recording studio in my home. It's where we've been recording some material for worship services and some other projects. You know, services don't look the same right now. We still have a message, we still have prayer, singing, even announcements in our virtual services. But we miss that face-to-face time with such a large group of people. And we look forward to seeing that happen again. But this time has really caused me to think about the early church and what that would have been like. Chapter 2 of Acts, it says that the believers devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching, to the fellowship, and to the breaking of bread and prayer. And then just a little bit later in chapter 2, it says, every day they devoted themselves to meeting together in the temple and broke bread from house to house. You know, as I think about those passages, I tend to think how church did not look like it does today. You know, that wasn't just in this big building where you can cram in hundreds of people or even thousands. But it was something where, yeah, they went to the temple to worship, but worship happened in homes. It happened in neighborhoods, from house to house. It happened as we did life as well. Ephesians chapter 5, Paul talks about how our worship would look through life. He says, being filled with the Holy Spirit, speaking to one another in psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs, singing and making music in your heart to the Lord. Paul wasn't just talking about what happens on a Sunday morning inside of a church building. He was talking about life. He was talking about what our lives should look like on a regular basis, day to day, meeting with each other in homes and going about life. You know, later on in Acts chapter 20, Paul was having a church service, and it was happening in the upper room of a home. It's actually a funny story because he spoke so long in his message that a young man fell out of a window and died. But he actually was brought back to life through the power of God. But anyway, it just continues to show that church did not just happen in a building. It was part of life. So what does this have to do with today? You know, right now it feels a little weird for a lot of us to be at home, listening to a message and trying to do Bible study at home together and have discussions and being near each other while we're trying to sing in our living rooms or wherever it is we are. And I wonder, though, really should that be weird for us? Because that's what church should be. It should be first and foremost, even in our homes. Maybe God is teaching us right now in this time to act more like the church at home and act more like the church in our lives. You know, I'm a worship pastor and I'm looking forward to meeting with everyone face to face. But I also see the value of deepening our worship time home. Could you imagine what our worship services would look like when we're face to face together if we can do that really well even in our homes first? Could you imagine that? Well, this is Pastor Scott, and I want to say God bless and take care of yourselves.